Hey guys, all right, sorry about the little delay there. All right, guys, sorry about that, the little delay there. I just had a bad time phone call that I had to talk to you about real quick. Okay, so happy Monday. You know, we had a good break from the stream just because we just took a little break, mostly because of the shortened week last week. Not really worth trading. Definitely should have taken the whole week off. That would have been much less stress on me, but it is what it is. So anyways, we had a nice run up last week. Nice 5 days in a row, 5 green days. So as we're looking at the charts right now on the daily time frame, we have a really nice rejection off of the upside here. We came just short of that 68.74 and 25.672 level. That's really important to note because that is still confirming that we're not closing a full higher high yet. We did break through the 66.97 and 24.965, which is significant, but the technical downtrend of not making a new high is still in play. Now, we are back testing, especially on NQ, that 25.125 area. That's that 8 and 20 EMA support. We have a little bit further. We could go down to 67.75 on ES. To backtest that support, but this is a really strong potential bounce area. This is somewhere that I would not be surprised to see us bounce. So looking at the 15-minute chart here, we have obviously, as you can see, some really strong levels of support and resistance. Support-wise, from overnight, we have 68.09 to 6800 and 25.226 to 25.175. Big support, big bounce there. Like I said, that kind of coincides with that daily bounce support. And then resistance-wise, we have 68.23 to 68.29 and 25.297 to 25.332. So kind of what I'm watching here is VX and VIX is starting to see a little bit of downside right now. We had a big 12% pop on the VIX. And obviously that took the market down about 1% with it. So right now, you know, this very well, kind of like we saw on the 25th, which was last Tuesday, we had the big drop lower, but then you saw we got that big old wick back up. So today very well could turn out to be a very similar day to that, where they buy this dip up pretty aggressively. So I don't want to obviously jump ahead or get excited that there's going to be downside just because we had a gap down. So right now we just closed under 68.22 on the 5-minute ES, but we did break through 25.297 on NQ. We do have some nice buyers here. I do expect we're probably going to backtest 68.16 and 25.266, but we just established that 5-minute ORB range, which is, of course, perfect with our overnight range and support and resistance. So that's what we're going to be kind of watching, is that 25.300 and 68.22 area for a potential breakout. So now, as you can see, yes, we do have buyers, but this could be a range resistance rejection and take us right back down to 25.226. So this is just kind of where we got to be very patient, and we got to wait for the breakout or the breakdown. This looks like it's going to go, but generally speaking, longing directly into the range is not the best idea. We did get that back test just about 25.276, so about pretty close to what I was looking for there. So this could see some continuation higher. And if we do get that 5-minute closure, I do expect that we will continue higher. But more or less here, I'm expecting a rejection. So we're pushing now, so this upside is starting to look pretty good here. VX and VIX are also coming lower, so again, that supports further upside. I would like to see this 5-minute close over 25,300 for my confirmation. Buyers are looking good, but as you can see, we're seeing a little bit of a slap down here. But ES is starting to gain some strength here, so that's a good support. That's a good, a good indication that this is going to continue higher. But generally speaking, I would like to see the closure over 25,300 to then take the long and the breakout of the 5-minute ORB. That would be a pretty good A+ setup here. But again, we got to get the 5-minute closure, so we got about 1.5 minutes here for that to happen. One thing I am watching is, yeah, we're pretty red right now. Big Tech is pretty red too. And Bitcoin got hit pretty hard yesterday, or really last night. It really had a pretty good week last week, and it had a good night too until futures opened. So once futures opened, though, it was pretty much slapped down pretty hard. So here we go. This is why I wait for the 5-minute close, because sometimes they give us a little fakey. So here is the rejection. Again, 25,298 is that key level. Really 25,300 or 5-minute ORB. So now we got 30 seconds to decide, are we going to push back over and close, or are we going to reject and potentially set up a rejection back to 25,225? So I don't love, usually a move like this would actually be a decent short opportunity. I would probably wait for like a 25,300 test and then take the short. But one thing I'm seeing here is that VIX at least is not really going up. So this is just kind of a rejection here. VX just got a pretty big pop though. So it's kind of a tough one there. And there's really not sellers either. So you got to be kind of careful here on which direction this is going to go. But any sort of ORB rejection like that is significant, and that is definitely something to watch. But realistically, if you look at it, we're just stuck in our range. We haven't broke range. We tried, but we're just stuck in our range here. The temptation for a short is certainly there, but I'm not quite ready. 25,234 is our key support now. Okay, VX is getting a pretty good pop here. VIX not so much. Seeing a little wick on VIX now. Starting to see potentially a flip to sellers here, so that's notable. So now basically what I would say is we need to wait for a closure under hopefully 25,234 in the 5-minute time frame. Look for maybe a back test off of it, and then we could potentially take a short, probably down to 25,100 area, which would be that daily 8 and 20 EMA support. So until that happens, though, again, we're just riding the range right now. There's no good direction. So I would just, generally speaking, wait and be patient. I don't think we have any data today, but let me just double check something doesn't sneak up on us. Let's see. Oh, we do have PMI at 9:45 and 10 a.m. Also, Jay Powell is speaking tonight too. Okay, so we're starting to get the nice push down here. Again, data in 2 minutes. So this would be our closure. We got to be careful of data, obviously, now at 9:45. That will cause a little bit of volatility. So that's kind of where I was telling that usually a rejection off of the 5-minute ORB like that will present a good short opportunity, and we could have taken it at 25, like 260 area, and we would have got a nice, you know, it's about 40 points right there, 50 points almost. But again, I didn't like it because we didn't really have the supportive sellers, and also VX and VIX are not straight pushing up. They are wicking up, but they're not in a strong directional move, which means, as you're kind of seeing right now, it has very high odds of a bounce and likely wicking you out before the direction continues. We really want to see strong support in both directions so that way we can get a solid move that isn't going to just wick us out. Because right now, basically, we just have a 100-point wiki range. And you could really narrow it down to about 80 points if you wanted to. So we did not close under 5-minute ORB support here. So again, still stuck in range. I do like the downside. I do like it. But again, VIX and VX are not pushing in a strong enough direction to take it right now. And we would be shorting into ORB support, which is not great. So again, it's just not a strong move here. Not a strong direction. Now on the flip side, if you're bullish, that would have been a great long opportunity because it was right off of ORB support. But at the same time, to take the long, I would like to see some buyers. We don't really have those. So again, there's a high probability that whatever direction we go is going to get rejected pretty hard or bounce pretty hard. So again, I'm just kind of being patient here because I don't have a strong continuation move. Again, looking at VIX though, specifically, it does more support the upside than the downside. So that is where my favor more or less lies. And if we can get a 5-minute closure over, sorry, 68.23 and 25.300 right now, I probably would look for a breakout here. Starting to see a little bit of big tech going green too, so that's also bullish. Really strong breakout movement here. So this is where VIX and VX did not lie. They were showing the upside. And obviously, you know, there was not buyers though, so I don't feel bad not taking that long. But good move, not shorting into the ORB. Obviously, like I've talked about numerous times, that's never a good idea. Doesn't mean we don't do it sometimes. Sometimes it works out okay, but it's always a good idea, or not a good idea, I mean, to short into the ORB or long into ORB. So again, ORB, again, is opening range breakout. That's our 5-minute levels that are established. And now, again, look at this. You're starting to see another rejection here, another wick. So this is where, again, that key closure. Closure is the key for the ORB strategy. The upside is supported though. I mean, we have, again, VX and VIX downtrending. We're attempting, as you can see on the EMAs, to flip. You can see right here, we're trying to flip these EMAs to the upside. So that would be bullish. So again, things are turning pretty bullish. And if you look at the daily, we're bouncing off key support. So upside looks pretty decent. Again, though, not a lot of movement. I mean, there's a lot of movement, but not a lot of continuation. So you got to be careful. Okay, 5 seconds to close. So ES got the closure, bullish closure. But NQ did not get the closure, so I would not recommend taking this long here. We actually likely will reject here. Again, you can play the rejection, but you're playing against buyers. You're playing against the VIX, so it's not as high probability. But likely, again, we're going to come down to that 25-270 area, I would assume. So this is a little bit... So this is pretty similar to earlier at about 9:35, but this time ES actually broke out. So again, this is where ES is stronger than NQ. We've been seeing a lot of that, and if you look at the daily time frame, relative to how close we are to all-time highs, obviously ES is much closer than NQ is. So buyers There are more buyers coming in each candle, but they're not at like an aggressive level. So pretty easily here, this can get rejected or slapped down. So it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to want to take a long here. Again, I just don't want to. You don't want to bite into a play that doesn't have strong continuation. That was kind of the problem last week I had. And again, last week was much more high volatility because VIX was, over the 20s and all short week of volume and stuff like that. But I would have the right direction, but we would find 30, 40 point pullbacks before the 100-point move happened. It just wasn't solid enough continuation, and that's kind of what burnt me hard last week. So this week, kind of same thing. You know, we just want to be patient. That's the key to success. And as you see this morning, patience have really paid off because there's a lot of wicks and there's not a lot of continuation. Now looking at ES here, it is breaking its previous high, so that is pretty bullish here. And we're starting to see a nice established bottom here on NQ at 25,293. We potentially, if we can break through 25,330 here, we probably are going to head up to 25,384. I would like to see this 5-minute candle close officially over 25,300, and likely then I'm going to jump into a long here. There's a potential entry right now. It's a little more risky, obviously, because you have the rejection that could set up here, but with ES pushing, VX and VIX coming lower, this looks strong that it's going to continue. But as we've seen a couple times on these 5-minute candles, the very last 30 seconds is the rejection. So again, I'm being patient, waiting for my confirmation, and you know, confirmation would be the closure. So that's what I'm waiting for. Okay, so we're getting that breakthrough here. Again, the long is there right now. You could be in this play. I could be in this play right now, but it's not fully confirmed just yet. Buyers are starting. This is the strongest buyers have been all morning. So this is, again, strong potential for that breakout. VX and VIX are making a newer, well, not the, more recent low. So again, that's still trending down. So this looks good to the upside. Also, let me fix the chart. Remember, guys, if the chart's off the page for you guys, just message in the chat. I try my best to watch it, but sometimes it slips away from me. So just let me know if it happens again, and I can fix it for you guys. I want you guys to be able to see what I'm seeing. Okay, 30 seconds to close here. If we get this closure, which we're probably going to get based on this movement right here, I would like to see a quick back test off maybe 25,300. It might not go that low. They might just give us like 25,310 to 320. And then I would like to be in this long for that move to 25,384. All right, there's our closure. Buyers are coming in. VX and VIX are coming down. Let's get a little bit of a slap back lower here, and we will take our long. Actually, they're probably going to just take us down to 328 to 330 and then push up. They might not even take it lower, though. They might just keep pushing this candle. That's how strong the buyers are now coming in.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
All right, I went ahead and took the long, and I don't know why. Not everybody got in, though, of course. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of back test here.
Order filled.
Okay, everybody's in now. So we got a good stop loss here. Our stop loss would be pretty much at the bottom of this 5-minute candle. Again, I would have liked to have seen a retest lower, but VX and VIX are just straight dumping We have aggressive buyers. This looks good for just straight continuation here. So this is the breakout. This is the 5-minute ORB breakout. So again, I'm content with this play. It looks solid. So I'm going to hold and we'll see if we can get that our daily goal here. A little bit of a pullback there. Still looking good for upside though. Still got stronger buyers. We're even seeing now daily buyers come back in, so that's important. We got to that 384. We actually now have an upside target of 487. I am adjusting a eval right now, just so you guys are aware. So these are evals that are being adjusted, and the stop loss is being adjusted is not my funded.
Stop filled.
So unfortunately, they are going to stop us out here. So everybody got stopped out there. I do have these F&F evals that I'm still running. They're probably going to get stopped out, but I wanted them to run. I wanted them to have better opportunity. So yeah, everybody got stopped out. Well, yeah, everybody but my funded my evals got stopped out there, so that's okay. I like that play. They just pulled it back, and then they're probably still going to push this. Let's see there. They got us by like 5 points. It's okay. It's just kind of how it is sometimes. I still believe in the upside. They might come back down here a little bit on this new 15-minute candle, but generally speaking, we had a pretty good play there. That was I have no problems with that play at all.
Stop filled.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 10 a.m. data just hit. That's why you're seeing a little bit of volatility. Again, I like the upside. I would like to see a back test maybe off 25,230 first before we push or to get an entry higher here. But we'll see what they give us here. So there's a little bit of a 15-minute double top trying to form here. Again, VX and VIX are dumping. We have aggressive buyers. I like the upside here. I don't really see a reason that we're going to go lower. but I am a little worried of a rejection, so I'm being careful before I enter another long here, but I'm very, very, very close to wanting to enter.
Order filled.
Okay, I went ahead and took the long here.
Stop filled.
All right, little rejection there. Again, just looking, that would look like a nice little breakout. As you can see in the 5-minute time frame here, you know, we had a little bit of a back test, but it was looking like we were going to get the push higher, but we just didn't get it. We are now seeing some buyers weaken, which is interesting. And we're seeing this big double top here. So that 25,330 area is our key level. And we're actually seeing a little bit of a bounce double bottom here now forming on VX and VIX. So we could actually be looking at a reversal lower here. Now again, we broke through the ORB support. We have buyers, so I favor the upside, but I don't want to miss, again, an opportunity for a downside move. We saw this last week a couple times and the week before where we have these pushes and then we get the big rejection lower. So certainly a potential to play out again here today. Our 5-minute buyers did weaken, so interesting move here. We'll see kind of how this candle structure plays out. If we touch 25,366 and don't push higher, that might be a good short opportunity actually. So here's 330, key level, key bounce, as you just saw, nice bounce, immediate bounce. This is starting to look like one of those deceiving moves where it looks like we're going to push lower, but it's actually going to probably result in this 5-minute double bottom right here pushing higher, but just kind of being patient here. Not already got 2 losses in a row here, so trying to recover some of that for sure. So here's that 366 that I was talking about, key level. We had that big bounce off 330, so that's important. That's pretty bullish, honestly, that big bounce. I'm liking the upside here. I think this is going to see continuation. It does have 2 minutes to reject though, but ES is trying to hold it down here though. But they both have the 5-minute double bottom, so that is bullish for a move to the upside here. That 384, that is our key level right here, 384. You can see we're trying to push through it right now. Again, the little bounce here off 330 is pretty bullish, where we could, as you see here in the 15-minute, look for that push to the upside here. But if you look over at ES, you can see it's doing the same thing, tried pushing up, but we're actually seeing a little bit of a rejection, and there's a bigger double top here, and that NQ has it too. So again, there's a potential as soon as this 5-minute candle opens that we could come back down. So, and if we look at VX, it is starting to push higher here. The buyers did weaken, so the play is there. The short is looking okay-ish. But again, it's hard to fight the buyers, and it's hard if VX and VIX are not in a straight uptrend.
Order filled.
All right, I took the short.
Order filled.
Those are just evals you're hearing.
Order filled.
Well, not my morning, that's for sure. Well, I hit daily loss limit on my Tradify, and then I had some evals in the background that got breached just there. I mean, I think we had some good plays. They just didn't work out. This last play here, I think we're gonna see that this is probably going to come back down. But again, unfortunately, they probably stopped us out before the move is going to happen. It's kind of just been a little bit of volatility the last 2 weeks really that I just seemingly can't get on the right side of it. So it is what it is. You know, some days you're gonna win, some days you're gonna lose. So my Tradeify accounts they're still live. They're just at daily loss limit today. So I'll work on those tomorrow. Try to keep reviving those into next week. Or sorry, well, it will be into next week actually. That's kind of the one thing I don't like about those accounts. That 20% consistency is really hard on those, because when you go red, you're trying to make back profit, and you actually have to make more profits on top of making back your regular profit. So kind of puts me in a little bit not where I want to be positioned, but it is what it is. So anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow.